believe in you. You gave my life a different meaning. You made me feel complete again. Dispersed my doubts, my clouded feelings. Chased away my darkest pain. Inside I feel my spirit rising. Emotions mended by a woman's touch. A new future on my horizon. I'll never think it too much. Through the heartache and the pain, you made my gray skies blue again. And after all that I've been through, I believe in you.
Welcome, everyone, to the Friday the 13th edition of the Signals from Mars Fireside Friday pre-show. I'm your host, Victor, and we are back for another week to discuss some new releases, some music news, so on and so forth. Already see that we have Johan and Jeremy here with us today. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to bring Jeremy up to the stage immediately because we've got some pending business here. So let's see. Mr. Weltman, how are you?
Yeah, hi, how you doing? I'm good.
Doing good myself. Glad to have you here for another Friday edition of the Fireside Friday show here. Our kind of our bread and butter with the discussions that me and you do, and especially what you offer to the Patreon show. Uh-oh, we've got the Jeremy echo again.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. It sounds absolutely perfect at my end.
Yeah, but let me see. Yeah, it's echoing back everything that I say.
Oh dear.
Using your tablet or your phone?
I'm using my tablet because I haven't got Fireside on my phone.
Oh crap. Okay.
It's a bit weird
So-
because I've been using my tablet all the time for this, up to when it was echoing. I think it was just the first time last time, which is really weird.
It's weird. They may have changed something in their settings.
I'll tell you what, I'll do a quick reboot and you carry on for 5 minutes. I'll do a quick reboot and come back.
Well, hold on, it's not echoing now. So let's see how it works, and if it starts to echo again, I'll let you know. But let me just go real quickly through some of today's new releases, and then we'll talk about some of the releases that you talk about. What I meant to say was that Jeremy does Patrons Pick on the show all the time, and he picks out what albums stick out to him, because you ultimately come down with one choice, but you still talk about a bunch of other albums that you listened to and kind of jumped out at you also. So it isn't that you only speak about your one pick. You talk about quite a few things. So anyway, so we had my featured new release was Grand Bonnet Band, Day Out of Nowhere, or Day Out in Nowhere, excuse me. So the this album. All right, starting to echo again. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to mute your mic for a second while I read this, and then I'll bring you back on. So this album to me is a continuation of what the Grand Bonnet Band has been doing, what they did with their previous two releases, which are The Book and Meanwhile Back in the Garage. Both albums are great. This one I enjoy quite a bit of it as well. A lot of guest appearances on the album. Everything from Jeff Loomis, who's known for his work with Arch Enemy and Nevermore, to John and Mike Tempesta. John is known for being a ridiculous drummer. Plays with The Cult, played with White Zombie, Rob Zombie, Testament, Exodus. He's got a ridiculous resume. Let's see. Mike, his brother, is known for being in Power Man 5000 and working for Fender for a lot of years. And Roy Z, who most of you people know from doing stuff with Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford and a lot of other people like Judas Priest. He plays some guitar in here as well. So it's a real good album. Other new releases are Visions of Atlantis, The Black Keys, Misery Index, JBO, Jungle Rot, Moontooth, Master Boot Record, Skills, Famini, I guess it's pronounced. Sneeze is what I'm trying to hold in. Catharos, The Big Deal, Cage Fight, which features a song from the lead singer of Black Dahlia Murder, who just passed away. Unfortunately, all signs are pointing to him possibly committing suicide, which is very unfortunate. I see T-Bone Terry Smith saying, what's up in Facebook. What's up, Terry? Hope you and the family are holding it all in together there. Hope you guys are doing great. Let's see. We have Nekachuin, Corleone, Adamantis Guitar Orchestra, Liar Thief Bandit, Black Bear, Black Beer, not Black Bear, Black Beer, 0 Hour, Positive Man, Steak Sauce Mustache, Stinger, Worms, Haraki, Cartilage, all released full length, Dishwalla, Miscreation. I got Primitive Man twice. I got to remove one. And Scavine, all released EPs, reissues from Carnivore, Opeth, and Eccentrics. So a lot of stuff came out today, and maybe not a lot of huge names like last week. Last week was there were a ton of releases that came out. But anyway, all right. So let me welcome Jeremy back to the stage. Let me turn his mic back on. And how do I do that? Okay, that's interesting. So
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Perfect.
Yeah, I think I did it at my end. Yeah, I'm hoping the echo is going to go because I've just turned off my Bluetooth, so I'm just wondering whether that might help. Anyway, we'll see.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean that Graham Bonnet album, by the way. Yeah, I really like it. Especially, obviously, you same as me. You like the first side more than the second side. I thought that the guitar work on it is much better than the first two, well, the previous two albums that he did. And I went back and listened. I went back and listened to those previous two a little bit today, and I think I'm more impressed by this latest one. I think the songwriting's a little bit better, and the songs themselves are better produced. And it's growing on me as well because I played it a few times, and it's really it's sounding good. I'm starting to like some of the songs I wasn't so into. I'm liking them a bit more now, so that's good. But strangely enough, I got a copy sent by Frontiers, which had a couple of faults with it. It started to jump and crackle. So I got in touch with Frontiers, and they within 24 hours, the girl there asked me a little bit more about it and asked me to send in some videos of the crackling and popping that was going on side one. And another 24 hours later, she got back straight away and said they're going to send out another copy. And in fact, I got an email that said it was on its way. And as you know, I usually get the coloured vinyls, so they've sent me another white vinyl. So I'll have two copies, one of which is a bit damaged. But I thought that was great customer service, and just wanted to say thanks to the guys at Frontiers because I think they're doing a good job.
That's awesome. I've been fighting with customer service all week. So I know what that's like.
Yeah. I've got a great album, by the way, that came out last week out of your list, and I don't think you're aware of it yet. So I'm gonna call this Patron's Pick of this week. And I listened to Hailstorm, by the way, first of all, which I thought was okay. I'm not a big fan of Hailstorm, and I thought some of the songs were a bit shouty and a little bit sort of, the same old, same old. But it's decent enough. But the album I'm going to recommend, the patron's pick for this week, is Black Eye by Black Eye. Now, this is a debut album. It's on Frontiers, and it's the voice of David Redman, or Reedman, I suppose it's Redman, of Pink Cream 69, who I didn't realise was actually born in Burnley, Lancashire. So not too far away. And for those who don't know, he's also formerly of Adagio and also done some stuff with Voodoo Circle as well, which is also pretty good. And there's some really good guitar work on it by Aldo Lonobile. Excellent guitar work, really good classic hard rock album, and it's not your typical Frontiers. I mean, a lot of the Frontiers stuff can be quite soft, can't it? But every so often you get something that's a little bit harder, even hard. They have Hardline on there. Obviously, we talked about Graham Bonnet, and this is another really good Frontiers output. Pretty solid all the way through. There's one or two slower tracks. But I really liked it, and the test for me is that you want to go back and listen to it again, which I did.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to. Hold on. We've got to work on the echo here. I muted you for a second again. So no, I was just going to say that. Yeah, Frontiers, like you said, I think they're trying to build their portfolio out with offering a bunch of different things. I did have a discussion with someone where they recently told me that they were going to start to cut back on some of the supergroup stuff, and they were going to kind of look for quality over quantity. So that's a good thing in my opinion. So let's see if that's the case. Is there anything else that you want to bring up?
Yeah, just a little bit about live music. Obviously, there's a few concerts going on at the moment. I know. Are you talking to Brad later on the regular show about M3 again, or is he not available tonight?
No, he's going to be on. We're going to talk about this year's M3, what he just experienced last week.
Yeah, so that's going to be great to hear what he's got to say, because he did send me a few pictures of some bands that were on. He mentioned Choir Boys were on, and obviously he's seen a bunch of other stuff. So that's going to be really interesting to hear what he thought of that. Last week I just saw a very small show. I went to see a Thin Lizzy tribute band called Limehouse Lizzy at Manchester Academy 3. Which is quite a small part of the student union at Manchester University. They split it. They've got They've got the Academy 1, which is a larger sort of room where you see sort of Schenker, that sort of thing, and then there's Academy 2, where you might see a band of sort of Magnum size, and then Academy 3. They've also got one in the basement, which is even smaller. I think that's called Club Academy. So there's 4 different theatres in the one sort of building, really. Anyway, it was a good show. They're very good, very like Thin Lizzy. Even the bass player is a black guy who looks like Phil Lynott, as well as sounding like him and playing like him. So that was really fun. And then tomorrow morning, we're off to Newcastle upon Tyne to see the Whitesnake final tour, which, as you know, it's got Foreigner in Europe as well. So looking forward to that. So it's great to be going out and see a big gig.
Cool. So we'll have to bet on how many how many songs Dino sings instead of David Coverdale, just to see if this is going to be the final tour or not. So we'll see where that all goes. And yeah, that's cool. And I've Brad sent me some videos, and his wife may be doing an appearance to discuss Invey's performance. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting. I mean, it's just great at the moment because there's so many concerts going on. I think we mentioned this before, and there's so many festivals coming up in the summer. I mean, the weather's getting better here as well in the UK, which is good, and obviously they're going on everywhere. But it's great to see that there's quite a few US and European bands actually coming over now. They were cancelling tours and obviously avoiding it because of the restrictions. Some of the European bands were avoiding it because of Brexit and the cost of touring and the bureaucracy involved. But we're finding now that a lot of them are coming over. I mean, there's a show. I think it's a week on Friday, which I may go down to near Silverstone, the Grand Prix track. And accept a headlining with Overkill. So it's a double headliner, the two of them, which is going to be great. That's that's on the Friday. It's called Manifest, and then on the Saturday and Sunday, there's a lot of other metal bands on. But I really fancied the Friday, so hopefully I'll try and make that trip down. It's going to be difficult because Friday traffic's always terrible on the motorways here, but. We'll see. Maybe get down there and hopefully maybe report direct live from the show.
Wow, that would be awesome. Trying to find a quote that I want to ask you about. Any other things going on, or any other releases you want to discuss?
No, I think that's it for now. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of stuff, but I'm going to pick a patron's pick for next Friday out of your list that you just mentioned there. So I'll be sort of listening to a lot of that stuff during the week, as I usually do, and I'm sure something will pop out because every week something pops out which you don't expect. So sure. Yeah, look forward to going through that.
All right. So this is my question. Phil Collins of Def Leppard is saying a trainer will go on the road with Def Leppard and Motley Crue. Hopefully Vince Neil will be working out. So I see that Z-Man is joining us on Facebook as well. Yes, we're trying to work that out. I have to mute Jeremy so that it doesn't do that. I got to get with Fireside to see why that's happening. So anyway, so the story is, again, Phil Collins of Def Leppard says that a trainer will go on the road with Def Leppard and Motley Crue. Now, one thing is a trainer going on the road, and the other thing is Vince actually using that trainer. So Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this? Just because a trainer is going on the road, does that mean that Vince Neil will take advantage and use that trainer while on the road? What do you think?
Well, that's it's a crazy thing. Who knows? I mean, I'm just surprised that Motley Crue is still going out on the road. I mean, Def Leppard are going to leave them in their wake, aren't they? I mean, Leppard, as we know, are very, very good live act. They're obviously just bringing out that new album, Diamond Star Halos, at the end of the month as well. Looking forward to hearing some of that because I think what I've heard is going to be interesting. But Vince Neil. I mean, when I saw Motley Crue on the final tour, now when was that? That's several years ago now, and he was looking very weighty. Let's say he was very puffed. His singing was not fantastic. He was okay, but it wasn't fantastic. And let's face it, the rest of the Motley Crue guys, they weren't all looking in tip-top fashion either. Okay, they were probably fitter than Vince, but they're not getting any younger, and yet they're still trying to do it, aren't they? I mean, I don't know. As what do you think? What do you think of it?
Yeah, we have Z-Man saying that he will use the trainer to get some beer, and he says that weighty is a polite way to say that you are fat. Okay. Um, so yes, I don't think at this point in time, I don't think Vince is going to change. The last time that they got him down in weight was because he had that whole makeover. Um, I never thought for a second they would stay retired because look at the lifestyle these guys live. Let's be honest, with the cars they have, the houses they have, the multiple houses they have, all the kids they have, it's hard to have that type of a lifestyle and have zero money coming in. So that's why I think, or I thought from the start, it would be impossible for them to not get back together again. I mean, it's just, it was just going to happen one way or the other. They've all done so many things to themselves that it's a miracle that they're still alive now. I mean, the difference between like the Rolling Stones, Motley Crue, Metallica, and a lot of other bands is that they have so much money that they can pay for great doctors to keep them alive. Okay. If you read Lemmy's autobiography, he talks about the fact that when Ace of Spades came out, he took all that money, went to the doctor that gave Keith Richards his full blood transfusion, and said to the doctor, "I want you to do the same thing that you did to Keith." And the doctor said, "Your organs are so messed up that if we give you pure blood, if we give you good blood, you will die because your organs aren't used to it. It's used to having the gummed up, messed up blood." So that's one of those things, and that's the difference. Stones, Motley Crue, Metallica. These are all bands that have so much money. There are others out there, obviously, so that look at Mick. For how many years have we been hearing about his ailment? But he's still going. So again, yeah, Z-Man is saying similar on Facebook. Join us on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube and drop your comments in there or directly on Fireside and come up and chat with us. The show is going on for like another 20 minutes. And then at the top of the hour, we do have the full-blown Signals from Mars with Dr. Poison Brad Dahl talking about this year's M3, which took place last weekend. But yeah, so Z-Man is also saying Vince needs a vocal coach more than an exercise trainer. And that's probably true as well. Although having a trainer will probably help with those gasps that he has, between lines. But anyway, let's bring Johan up on stage. Let's see what's going on in Sweden. If you would like to come up. Johan, how are you?
Hello, Victor. Hello, Jeremy. I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Just
How is
sitting.
everything in Sweden right now? Getting ready for the Swedish festivals?
Well, today is Friday. I'm sitting in the sofa and watching some TV and some Fireside with Victor. So just an ordinary Friday. Yeah.
That's awesome. Anything on your mind, hard rock or metal related, that you want to talk about?
Ooh. You have to prepare me for the questions, but what can I say? I really enjoy Crash Diet's latest LP.
Okay.
It's good. And have we discussed the Ghost concert? No.
No, we haven't discussed anything.
No.
Yeah, you got to see them recently, didn't you?
Yeah, the 1st of May in Malmö, Sweden.
Okay.
It was first of all, I must say, it was in Stockholm 2 nights before. It was full house, 10,
Okay.
12,000 people. But in Malmö, it was, I would guess, 5,000 in a big arena. So they moved the stage really close to the seats. And but that's Malmö is not a rock and roll city, so that's okay. But I think those were great, of course. But they made an excellent album, and they should have played more songs from it. But they choose to play more of a greatest hits set. And me and my buddies, who are all old Ghost fans, we were expecting. Of course, we have seen the set list on online and so, but I think Tobias should have played like the whole album from start to finish, and then
Hmm.
made a best offset. I think that because I think the new album is worth it. So I don't know what you guys think of the new album. And I know what you guys think about about the new album, but that's my thoughts about the concert. It was good, but I really would have wanted more from the new album. Too many,
Yeah,
too
that's
few songs.
surprising because I do think that the new album is from beginning to end. I know that some people don't like it, but I think it's probably their best album that they've released from top to bottom. So, like you're saying, it's surprising that they didn't play more, but that's also an excuse to come back and play more from the album. I felt
Yes.
that when I heard the album, that this was their breakthrough album, and not with the metal community, but with the casual music listener. I thought that this was the album that was going to get them on the radio, and it hasn't happened yet. But I will say this: I know of a lot of bands where I've listened to their albums and thought similar, but until they have that one big summertime hit, and I think it for this Ghost album, it's the ballad off of the album. I think once they release that as a single, I think it's going to be huge. But again, I think that maybe their idea is that they're going to be touring this album for 3-4 years, and that's why they're coming out with the greatest hits, and then they're going to be back to just focus on Imperia later on. But the song that I'm thinking of is "Darkness at the Heart of My Love." I think that song is going to be huge. If they decide to release it as a single, it's going to be enormous.
Well, they had a summertime hit here in Sweden with the single "He Is." So they already had that breakthrough here in Sweden. The single "He Is," did it break in other parts of Europe? No.
Well,
From
they have listed.
from
They have listed
Oh.
"Hunter's Moon," "Call Me Little Sunshine," and "20s" as the 3 singles off of the album so far.
Yeah, but I mean the old song "He Is"
Oh, okay.
from the album Meloria. No, which
Right.
album was it from? Do you know what song I'm talking about, Victor?
Let me find it.
A ballad. He is. No. Yeah, he is.
She is okay.
He
Or
is.
he is. He is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So apparently the international singles are, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Cerise, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, and Majesty are the international singles. But what happens with a lot of bands from Sweden, for example, since, as we've talked with you before, since there is a backing with radio there and popularity is still there, that Swedish bands end up releasing more songs there than they do throughout the world. So that could be why that was released there, or it maybe just started, someone just started playing it on radio there and it just caught on other places. So the old way that they used to promote albums and songs. So.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm surprised. Was a big hit here in Sweden, and they still play it on national radio. I mean, in irregular programs, they play his. It's like
Right.
you could play Roxette or whatever. So, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and I think Brad is joining us as well. Brad, you've seen Ghost on this tour already, or was that one of the bands that you missed, or which you decided not to go see?
Yeah, I didn't see them. That was in the height of Omicron, and I just couldn't feel comfortable going. I wish I had gone though, but I think they only played the one song off the new album because it wasn't out yet. They
So
opened
weird.
up. Yeah, and I think what you were saying about that they're planning on this being a long cycle. And I it's funny that I say they because it's really just one guy, but
Yes, Tobias.
I think it's Tobias that's really steering the ship here. I think you're right that he's probably planning on this being a really long run, and that they're going to come out again next year or later this year, and they're going to tour. They're going to play the new album heavily.
Yeah, that based on what Johan is saying, and based on what you're saying, that's what it seems like. I don't know what festivals they're playing as well, where that will be possibly something that they would do there as well. Although again, for the first time, I'm seeing a lot of people complain about how, this album has lost me. It really doesn't have anything that I'm into.
That's crazy.
But
that's flat out crazy. I mean, I guess if you're, you know how it is when you're like hardcore into a band and you have expectations, and maybe that's what it is. It's like, I really like Ghost, and I'm like you, Victor, and I think I'm like most people, obviously, in part of your group. I'm open-minded. I'm not expecting them to put out the same album after the same album.
Right.
I really like the new album. I mean, really like it from start to finish. I think it's as solid an album as they've put out, and
right.
I don't feel like they're really straying far from. I thought the last album was more of a stray from what they've been doing. More pop oriented.
I think the thing though is when they started to talk about outside people. And the songs are, like you're saying, it's not a stretch because obviously it's Tobias's voice. It's still his writing. Yes, they have co-writers, but I think he's smart enough to leverage what he does, bring other people in, and kind of fine tune what he's been doing. And I mean, they've even been saying as of this week, he's played with 15 different people on stage. Does that surprise anybody, really? Look at, and I know that people are going to go ape shit over this. Oh, I thought it was a band. Well, you're just a fan. You don't know what the inner workings are, so many people complain about Dave Mustaine changing members or, Ozzy Osbourne or Trent Reznor or anyone who's known for having a revolving door of musicians. But at the end of the day, the core piece, the vision is still there. Even someone like Kiss, where people always complain about, why are they bringing these people in? It's still Gene and Paul steering the ship. So we could get into semantics about makeup and whatnot, but it isn't as if they went to the corner pub and said, "You two, you play bass and drums, or you play lead guitar and drums. Come on, we got a tour. Come with us." No. How many albums has Eric Singer played on? Give me a break. So, yeah, and I realize that Ghost isn't for everyone, and that's cool. For me, I mean, these last two albums have been my favorite too, and I know that I'm the oddball with that because I know with Prequel, a lot of people were like, much like you said, Brad. Oh no, they're straying. And the first time that I heard Rats, for example, I was like, is that him tipping his hat to the band Rat? Because the riff is just such a like Warren DeMartini type riff, that the main riff to the song. So I mean, that's what I think is cool with that. And Tobias was a member of Crash Diet, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
along with other Swedish bands. So I mean, again, he's not someone that's scared to dip into other forms of hard rock or metal to get what he's doing across. So, in any event, let's go around the horn one more time here because we are going to be wrapping this up in a second before Brad joins me to talk about M3. If you are checking this out for the first time, the full-blown Signals from Mars episode will be on any of the platforms that you're watching, because the only people that are here on Fireside are us three or us four that are up on stage. So if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch or Trovo or any of the other 15 platforms that this is going out live on, at the top of the hour, we'll be back with Mr. Dahl and his M3 stories. But Jeremy, anything you'd like to mention before wrapping things up here?
Can't think of anything offhand. No, I think we've covered most of the things that I was going to mention. Just really looking forward to listening to Brad, really, and talking about the festival, because I want to hear all the bands that he's seen, and I'm going to be really jealous of them. Sure.
Well, can you do a Newcastle accent before you go?
Newcastle, man. It's Geordie's, man. Of course I can do a Geordie accent.
That's a little bit better than my British accent. So, Johan, anything else that you want to mention before we wrap the show up?
No. I like the accent. No, not really.
Hey, Johan, let's hear you do a British accent.
No.
Not today.
No, I can't. We learn English, British accent English. That's what we learn in school, but we are most influenced by American, movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, I was going to say,
now,
most of the hockey players, for example, when they come over, most of them speak American English almost perfectly. So, and that's pretty true for all the Scandinavian countries. So yeah, much like the rest of Europe, they do probably learn British English, but come over to America, they sound like a lot more like American. Now, here's a question for you, Johan. Are there different accents in Sweden depending on the cities or different parts of the country?
Oh yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh yes. So if you're in Malmö,
Right.
This is for real. If you are from the inner city of Malmö, a guy from Stockholm has a really hard time to understand. So and that's only 50 Swedish miles between those two cities, but yes, Sweden is full of dialects. So
Oh, okay.
uh, and
Interesting.
in the north of
Kind of-
Sweden, you speak almost to it's close to Finnish. So yeah, very different, very very different.
huh.
Interesting.
Well, that makes sense, though. I think all of our countries have our own way of
Yeah,
speaking in different areas. So,
But
absolutely.
oh wow, I have one thing more to say.
Okay.
Tomorrow we have the grand opening of the Cliff Burton Museum here in my hometown,
Okay.
and I'm invited. So it's a big thing, and uh, oh my god, I forgot the bassist from Anthrax.
Frank
Frank
Bello.
Bello.
Yeah, Frankie Bello is speaking online, and he's online the whole event, so you can speak to Frankie Bello. And Metallica.com is going to, I think, transmit. What do you say? Yeah, they will show the whole thing online.
Yeah, they're going to do a telecast.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's a big thing, and a lot of fans from the whole world is here in our very small town right now, from Mexico to South America to all over Europe are here now. So it's a big thing here tomorrow. So it's going to be fun to attend it.
That's very
So
cool.
another excuse to go visit Johan in Sweden to go see the Cliff Burton Museum.
Yeah, I will tell about it. We will see how good it is, but I have no idea. But
Well,
it can be good.
next
It can
next
be,
Friday we'll have to talk about it then.
yes, we'll have
Awesome.
to
There
do
you go.
that.
Awesome. So we're gonna wrap things up here. Brad and I will be talking M3 in about 15 minutes. Jeremy, thank you once again for joining us once again. Johan, thank you once again, and Brad as well. Although you're going to be hanging out for a little bit longer. I want to thank all you guys that chimed in through the various chats, from Terry to Z-Man, and some of the other usuals that are usually prowling around but don't chime in. I know you guys are out there. Thanks for your support, and we'll be back in a few minutes to talk M3. If there are any doubts whatsoever, just go to MarsAttacksRadio.com. You'll see subscribe at the top. Click on that, and you'll see all the platforms where you can listen to the Signals from Mars live show in a few minutes. And if you're driving, check out Mixcloud so that you don't have the actual video
Mm.
playing. You can just listen to it. So that is it, folks. We'll see you next Friday right here on Fireside for the Signals from Mars